Rob Horry is not too enthusiastic about the idea of the Los Angeles Lakers trying to acquire Luka Doncic to become the next star of the franchise. You have to consider, how old will Luka be when his contract is up? Robert Horry questioned. Like, 31, 32 years old? He's not the best defender at the moment, and that's a concern for the Lakers. You need athletic players who excel defensively, and while Luka is an excellent scorer, everyone knows you'd have to take the beers out of his hands because he's not in the best physical shape. He'll still be good, but maybe not exactly what the team needs. Robert Horry has a valid point. When Luka's contract ends, he will be in his early 30s, and defense has always been an area where he has not excelled. He will continue to be an impressive player, but he may not be the type of athlete the Lakers need right now, especially considering the issues with physical conditioning and defense. Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer mentioned about 2 weeks ago that, after LeBron James' NBA career ends, the Lakers might be interested in the Slovenian. I've discussed this on the podcast and on The Ringer. The Lakers are eyeing Luka for the future, O'Connor said. We'll see if that materializes. Dallas just made it to the finals. Their team is stronger than ever with its supporting cast. That may not work out. But the Lakers, by not trading away their future picks, are clearly thinking long-term now. They're not going all-in like many teams would with LeBron James. Would Doncic be the ideal fit for the Lakers? Doncic is not the most agile player in the NBA, and his lack of speed was evident on defense during the 2024 NBA Finals. The Mavericks were defeated by the Boston Celtics in 5 games, and Doncic struggled to defend players like Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Additionally, the Maverick star appeared exhausted on offense during the final series. He could not maintain his free throw and three-point shooting performance from the other 3 playoff series for Dallas, and had nearly the same number of assists and turnovers. His only truly effective game in the NBA Finals, both in terms of playmaking and scoring, was when the series was essentially decided. With the Celtics leading 3-0, Doncic scored 29 points on 12 of 26 shooting, had 5 assists, and only 1 turnover. Luka is currently one of the NBA's best. Despite concerns about his physical condition, Doncic is one of the most talented players in the NBA and had an outstanding offensive performance for the Mavericks last season. In 70 regular season games, he averaged 33.9 points on 48.7% shooting and 38.2% from three-point range, along with 9.8 assists per game. Doncic was the top scorer and the second highest assist provider among NBA qualifiers in the 2023-24 regular season. The Los Angeles Lakers made several moves before the 2023 NBA trade deadline, including acquiring Rui Hachimura from the Washington Wizards in exchange for Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round draft picks. The former Gonzaga lottery pick averaged only 9.6 points in 33 games for the Lakers during the regular season, but had a much greater impact in the playoffs. Hachimura scored 29 points in his playoff debut for the Lakers against the Memphis Grizzlies and stood out as a reliable option on the wings for the team. The 26-year-old was rewarded with a 3-year, $51 million contract extension during the offseason, establishing himself as an important member of the team's young core. High expectations were placed on Hachimura before his first full year with the Lakers. However, he was plagued by injuries and inconsistent performance for most of the 2023-24 season. Hachimura started the year coming off the bench, which likely contributed to some of his early struggles. He was inserted into the Lakers' starting lineup in early February after returning from a series of injuries and helped the team go on an impressive run. Hachimura averaged 15.4 points per game with 57.5% shooting and 43.9% from three-point range as a starter, compared to 11.1 points per game with 47.5% shooting and 39.8% from three-point range coming off the bench. Overall, Hachimura averaged 13.6 points and 4.3 rebounds in 26.9 minutes per game over 68 appearances, 39 as a starter, for the Lakers during the regular season. Unfortunately for Hachimura, his struggles resurfaced in the playoffs. The forward's offensive production dropped significantly, and he was a major issue on defense in the first round of the playoffs against the Denver Nuggets. 2023-24 season highlights. Hachimura set a new career high by scoring 36 points in the Lakers' 138-122 victory over the Utah Jazz on February 14, 2024. He made 13 of his 19 field goal attempts, including 6 of 8 from three-point range. On March 27, Hachimura hit a career-high 7 three-pointers and grabbed 10 rebounds in the Lakers' 136-124 win over the Grizzlies.
Outlook for 2024-25.
Hachimura is entering the second year of his contract extension with the Lakers and should benefit from J.J. Redick now as a coach. Hachimura is projected to be the Lakers' starting power forward and will have a more consistent role that puts him in a better position to succeed. During his introductory press conference in July, Redick praised Hachimura and said he wants him to shoot more three-pointers and focus on becoming a better offensive rebounder. Power forward/center Christian Wood, known for his varied NBA journey, has become one of the league's most itinerant players, and it seems there's a reason for that. In a new Q&A session, Jovan Buha of The Athletic revealed that Wood, standing 6 feet 8 inches tall, was forced to choose the veteran minimum option with the Los Angeles Lakers this offseason after failing to attract interest for higher value contracts from other NBA teams. He has a certain perception around him in the league, Buha said. And obviously, he didn't have a market. Otherwise, he wouldn't have chosen a veteran minimum contract. You don't opt for a minimum contract if you have a market. So, there are some red flags with Christian's situation, and I see a way for it to work. But I also wonder, why hasn't he been able to stay in many situations for more than a year and a half? Why does he have this bad reputation in the league, where everyone you talk to starts talking negatively about him? Wood was initially undrafted in the 2015 NBA draft coming out of UNLV. He was first signed by the Philadelphia 76ers and played 17 games during the 2015-16 season before being waived. Wood then joined the 76ers' NBA G League affiliate, the Delaware 87ers, now known as the Delaware Bluecoats, before being recalled to Philadelphia in March, initially on a 10-day contract, followed by a contract for the remainder of the season. He played for the Charlotte Hornets during the 2016-17 season, but frequently played with Charlotte's G League team, the Greensboro Swarm. Wood struggled to gain much NBA traction that summer and spent the 2017-18 season with the Delaware 87ers. He split the 2018-19 season between the Milwaukee Bucks and the New Orleans Pelicans. After a promising 8-game stint with New Orleans, averaging 16.9 points and 7.9 rebounds, Wood joined the Detroit Pistons. He finished 4th in the 6th Man of the Year voting and 8th in the Most Improved Player voting, averaging 13.1 points on 56.7% shooting from the field, 38.6% from three-point range, 74.4% from the free throw line, 6.3 rebounds, 1.0 assists, and 0.9 blocks in 62 games, 12 as a starter. In the 2020 offseason, Wood signed a 3-year, $41 million contract to join the Houston Rockets as part of a sign-and-trade. During his 2020-21 season with the Rockets, he averaged 21.0 points on 51.4% shooting from the field, 37.4% from three-point range, 63.1% from the free throw line, 9.6 rebounds, 1.7 assists, and 1.2 blocks, marking his highest offensive production year to date. For his performances, he finished 4th in the Most Improved Player voting. Wood was traded to the Dallas Mavericks before the 2022-23 season and, in his lone season in Dallas, finished 9th in the 6th Man of the Year voting. Last year, Wood signed a 1-year veteran minimum contract with a player option, providing a safety net if he didn't impress with the Lakers. His lack of defensive skills and below-average shooting resulted in his lowest minutes since the 2018-19 season, 17.4 minutes per game. Wood averaged only 6.9 points on 46.6% shooting from the field, 30.7% from three-point range, and 70.2% from the free throw line, along with 5.1 rebounds, 1.0 assists, and 0.7 blocks in just 50 games, while being moved around in the rotations by former coach Darvin Ham. If he remains with the Lakers throughout the season, he will match his own record for the most time spent with a team, with an impressive 2 seasons. Small forward Cam Reddish and center Jackson Hayes also opted into their player options for the 2024-25 season, presumably after receiving little interest elsewhere during free agency. Point guard D'Angelo Russell also opted into his $18.7 million contract for the upcoming season. The Los Angeles Lakers will have a significant advantage in a crucial aspect for the 2024-25 season. With less than a month until training camp begins, the new season is highly anticipated for the Lakers. The past few regular seasons have been challenging for the Lakers, particularly at the start of the season. LA struggled to adjust to the rhythm of the regular season, and they hope this will change this year. While the season won't be easy, the Lakers will have an edge over the rest of the league. They will have the fewest back-to-backs of any NBA team. The Lakers will have only 13 back-to-backs this season, 2 fewer than last season. Although the reduction isn't significant, It could make a difference over the course of the season, especially with players like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. These two players are the oldest on the team, but, more importantly, they are the two best players. The team's performance will depend on how well Davis and James perform, but it will also rely on the supporting players' contributions. The Lakers are not projected to be one of the top teams in the Western Conference, let alone the league. However, they still have two superstars, which could help. Back-to-back games are common in the NBA, but the league has been working to reduce their number in recent years. The most back-to-backs the Lakers have ever had was 20 in the 2010-11 season. The Lakers will start the season against the Minnesota Timberwolves at home on October 22nd. In the first 19 games of the season, the Lakers will have 10 games at the Crypto.com Arena, and they will look to make the most of this, regardless of the opponent. This season will be significant for the Lakers for several reasons. First, it will be J.J. Redick's first season as head coach. Although the hiring was somewhat surprising, Redick was the favorite from the start and ended up winning the job despite the confusion with Dan Hurley. All eyes will be on whether Redick is ready for the challenge. Additionally, this season could be James's last. He has a player option at the end of the season, and as he enters his 40th year, it wouldn't be crazy to think this could be his last. James has nothing left to prove in his illustrious career other than winning another title for Los Angeles. The 9-time All-Star, Paul George, decided to completely leave the Western Conference during free agency. This summer, Paul George, a forward and native of Palmdale, departed the LA Clippers, where he spent the last 5 years, to sign a maximum contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. However, his father, on the other hand, wanted him to join the Los Angeles Lakers and become the third Hall of Famer on the team for the 2024-25 season. In an appearance on the podcast P with Paul George show, Paul George Sr. explained why he wished for his 6 feet 8 inches son to join the other team in his hometown. "I looked at the Lakers and thought, okay, let's go with the other team then," said Paul George Sr., but they had already spent a lot of money. "I thought we might still go down the tunnel, just wearing a different color." After prolonged negotiations, George ultimately walked away when the Clippers refused to include a no-trade clause in the contract offer. Facing the Clippers' refusal to alter the terms, George decided to leave the team and signed a 4-year, $211.6 million maximum contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. He joins All-Stars Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, forming one of the top threats in the Eastern Conference to the reigning champions, the Boston Celtics.